Hi, I'm Amy, I'm a Skills alumni, and today I'm going to show you how to make a scrunchie out of an old garment. Alright, so there's a few things that you're going to want to get together before you start the scrunchie. So you need obviously your old garment, a tape measure or a ruler. I've got pattern weights. They're not super necessary, but they help. A chalk marker, some elastic, and then either a rotary knife and mat or just a pair of fabric scissors. So first step is you're going to lay out your fabric or your old garment, and you're going to find enough space to make the scrunchie. I make mine about 24 inches long. So I'm just going to mark with the chalk. And then I do about 4 inches wide. Once you have that successfully chalked out, you're going to take your scissors, or if it's flat enough, your rotary knife, and then you're just going to cut it out. And then you should have a piece that looks like this. Then we're going to take our elastic. I use about 1/4 inch wide. And then I'm just going to measure 7.5 inches. So 7.5, and then this will be the elastic that goes inside the scrunchie. So now that we've set up our sewing machine, we're going to take our rectangular piece and we're going to sew the short ends together. So we're just going to stitch straight down there. And whenever you're sewing, make sure that you do a back stitch, which is just going to have it go front and back to secure the stitch. Once we've finished that seam, we're going to come over to our iron and we're just going to give it a nice little press. Now comes the hard part. We're going to twist it, and then we're going to take the seam and we're going to fold it over itself like so. This is going to make sure that our scrunchie is the right way out when we flip it. So you'll be encasing the one side in the other as you sew. And I line up the seam so that we can make sure that it matches when we're done. And one more time, this is how we twist. So you're gonna put this on the inside and make sure that your right sides are together when you finish. And it'll look kind of like this. And then you wanna sew around the inside piece. And now we're just gonna stitch all the way around the scrunchie, leaving about a 1.5 inch opening so that we can flip it. And once you've sewn down the one side, you're gonna have to pull through the rest of the scrunchie, like this, so that you can continue sewing all the way around. You might have to do it 2 or 3 times to get all the way around to complete your tube. And once you can see the end, see where we started, you're going to leave about 1.5 inches. Doesn't have to be exact. After you've sewn your tube and left your hole, you're going to pull through the right side. So you can see it should come all the way through like that. And now your seam is on the inside of the scrunchie. So the right side of the fabric is on the correct side now. and we have a little hole right here to pull the elastic through. Once you finish that and we have our opening, we're going to pull through the elastic. So you're going to take a safety pin. The larger the better. It definitely helps maneuvering it. You're just going to poke it through one end and close it. And then what I do during this step, just to have a better grip on this end, is I actually put it through my machine and secure it with the needle just halfway through so that I can pull it and it doesn't snap back on me. And then we're going to find our opening, take our safety pin, and slide it through. So I just push my fingers along the fabric and scrunch it up as I go. And then once you've reached the opening on the other side, you're going to pull it through. Make sure your elastic stays flat all the way around. I'm going to unhook it from my machine. And then as you can see, the elastic is going the same way. It's not flipped. I'm going to undo the safety pin. And here's where I'm going to stitch the elastic together. I'm going to overlap it about 3/4 of an inch on either side. And then I'm going to put it in my machine and do 2 stitches to secure it. I go back and forth a few times to make sure that the stitches won't come undone. And then it should look like this. And your scrunchie's almost ready. Now that your elastic is secured inside, we just have to close up the hole we left. So line up the fabric so that it's a clean seam. Your edges are folded in. And then all you're going to do is line it up with the edge of your presser foot. And you're just going to stitch ever so slightly along the edge. And then don't forget to trim your threads as close as you can. And there's your scrunchie.